We go from the footy to American football, and as we showed you earlier, Saints quarterback Derek Carr's season upcoming. That's in doubt following reports he has a shoulder injury that might require surgery. Limited to 10 games due to injury last season. Did play through a shoulder injury in 2023 and didn't miss any time. But with this news, ESPN Bet has the Saints as the favorite now to draft quarterback Shedeur Sanders. They actually have the 9th pick in this draft as we welcome in draft analyst Matt Miller. So if Shedeur is there, particularly on the heels of this Derek Carr news now, is this a must pick for New Orleans in your estimation, Matt?
Buckle up, Saints fans. The first round is going to be exciting when they come on the board at number 9, and I don't think it is a must. Didn't think quarterback was a must for them. Even with Derek Carr on the roster, I don't know that this injury changes your future outcomes. If you don't love a quarterback at number 9, don't reach to take one. This front office, I know it's a new head coach in Kellen Moore, but GM Mickey Loomis actually selected Spencer Rattler in the 5th round last year. They like him as a developmental player. He'll be taking the first team snaps when this team starts voluntary workouts on Monday. You don't have to take a quarterback this year. You can effectively tank behind Spencer Rattler and set yourself up for, guess who could be in next year's draft? Arch Manning. The last time the Saints took a quarterback in the first round, 1971, when his grandfather Archie was the pick. So maybe we're overconnecting dots a year out. But the 2020
in the first 2 rounds of the upcoming NFL draft, he's got Cam Ward expected to go first overall to the Titans, Shedeur Sanders to the Saints, Jackson Dart to the Rams. Now, in the 2nd round, Mel has Tyler Shuck landing in Cleveland, Jalen Milroe joining the G-Men. We now welcome 2 of our NFL draft analysts, Jordan Reed, Matt Miller, and Matt, and Mel Kiper Jr.'s latest mock draft, he's got Shedeur Sanders going 9 to the Saints. Other mocks have him 3 to the Giants. Kind of help me here, because there's some that have him at 21 to the Steelers. Why does it seem like Shedeur Sanders' draft place is all over the place?
Yeah, we talk about range in the draft. Shedeur's is big. It is from 3 probably all the way to 21. The Saints are definitely very interesting with Derek Carr at number 9. But I think what we're having happen is teams are basically evaluating Shedeur against the current quarterback room. If you're the New York Giants, you added Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson. Is he going to start over Russell Wilson this year? Probably not. And this is a franchise where Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll are really coaching and drafting for their jobs. Then you get to no man's land in the teens of the draft, where every club will have to say, okay, we got a starter already. We're not the worst team in the NFL. We have to compare him to our current quarterback room. That's what makes it so hard to project a landing spot for him if he does get past the Giants at 3 or the Saints now at number 9.
Yeah, man, it's just the mixed opinions on the physical tools with Shedeur Sanders. You have some teams that really like him and feel like he can be that piece that uplifts his surroundings, and then there's other teams that have some worries about as far as what his ceiling can be on the next level. But there's no denying what he was able to do throughout his career, whether it was at Jackson State or most recently at Colorado. He took over 2 programs that did not have a history of winning prior to him getting there. But then he goes to Colorado. He's able to change that program. And then at Jackson State, he did the same thing, being able to win 2 SWAC titles there. His toughness, and then also the winning ability when he's able to turn a program around. There's no denying that about Shedeur Sanders.
So based off of his skill set, Matt, I'll start with you. Which team, in your opinion, is the best fit for Shedeur Sanders?
I'm going to go a little bit out of left field here, guys. How about the Miami Dolphins? They have a quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa who's had injury and concussion issues. That is really what's holding Miami back, is Tua's inability to stay healthy. If he happens to get there to pick number 13 in the first round, I think you have to consider it in Mike McDaniel's offense, Shedeur's ability to play from the pocket, how surgical he is with his accuracy, the way that he understands space and timing. I think Miami's offense would be a perfect fit for him. You have Jalen Waddle, we have Tyreek Hill, a good stable of young running backs, and an offensive line in front of him that would be able to protect him. Now, the likelihood that Miami takes a quarterback in the first round is probably slim, but we've seen this before when players like Jordan Love slipped through the cracks in the first round. The Green Bay Packers said, hey, we're going to need a quarterback again eventually. Let's go ahead and take one now. So if we're just talking best fit, I love Miami for Shedeur.
Yeah, that's a really underrated one, Matt. But I'm going to go with a more obvious one in the New Orleans Saints. I think the Saints have a huge need at quarterback, especially after the Derek Carr news that came out. yesterday. This is a big decision for the Saints to make. They're definitely a team that always feels as if they're in win now mode. And it's obvious that they need a long-term quarterback of the future. They took Spencer Rattler in the 5th round, and they still can figure out if they have anything in him. But why not add Shedeur Sanders to the room with Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and then some of the other weapons that they do have with Alvin Kamara in the backfield? So you take Shedeur Sanders at number 9 overall. Now you have your cheap option to take on while you try to figure out the whole Derek Carr situation and with that moving forward.
I'm curious as to whether the team would actually use the 6th overall pick on Shedeur Sanders. But I think you would like about it is he would pair with an offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly, that has been at multiple stops now. I know that we all think about what happened last year at Ohio State and say that's the kind of system that Chip Kelly is going to run. Maybe. I also think that Chip Kelly is a very adaptable coach who will take advantage of a player's greatest strengths, which in the case of Shedeur Sanders is a pristine pocket passer who has elite accuracy and also touch on the football. So if he lands in Vegas, he's going to have to be patient. But if he can afford to be patient, the spot is a very good one because there is good offensive infrastructure right now with the Raiders.
And so, Mike T, in your mock draft, you have the Steelers trading up from 21 to 10, grabbing Sanders. They're also waiting on a decision from Aaron Rodgers, and we all are at this point. If you're the Steelers front office, what are you doing here with this situation?
Yeah, I mean, I actually like both situations and maybe a combination. So if you could get Aaron Rodgers, and I'm presuming when the owner comes out, the league meeting and said, hey, we're going to sign him, they may sign him. That's a one-year deal. I love Shedeur Sanders there long-term. I think it's an ideal fit with what they want to do offensively from a standpoint of strong running game, play action pass. And now that you have George Pickens, DK Metcalf, and Pat Freiermuth with the accuracy of Shedeur Sanders, you win for today with Aaron Rodgers, and you develop for tomorrow with Shedeur Sanders into the future. They're in a much better quarterback situation with that combination than at any point since Ben Roethlisberger.
So Shedeur Sanders sounds like a good long-term fit for this Raiders team. Gentlemen, let's look at some other teams with QB needs and play QB or not QB. See what we did there with that one? All right, we can all agree that the Titans are taking Cam Ward at number 1. Yes, we all agree on that. So, Mike T, I'll start with you. Should the Giants take a QB or the best available player at that 3rd pick?
Best available player, I mean, look, there's 2 great players here, Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter. You can't pass on greatness. I think there's an opportunity for either of those teams, Cleveland or the Giants, to come back up in the 1st round. But if you can get Travis Hunter that we're looking at here or Abdul Carter, you can't pass on guys that can be absolute dominant difference makers. Find the quarterback later on, take the great player at the top of the draft.
Yeah, Mike T, well said right there. I'm going to go with not quarterback as well for the New York Giants. And really, this might be the easiest pick of the draft in some ways for the Giants. It kind of reminds me of the Patriots at number 3 last year, Amina. Just take the 3rd quarterback that was going to be on the board. In this case, you just take the Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter of it all, right? Because we know that Cam Ward is going to go number 1 overall. Some people have said, well, do the Giants really need an edge rusher? When you're picking 3rd overall, it's for a reason. The most notable reason is you've got a talent gap.
Yeah.
Right now, you find the best player available, and you worry about whether you have enough pass rush at a later date. Because as far as I'm concerned, there's no such thing as having too many premium pass rushers. The Giants would all of a sudden have themselves one of the best trios of pass rushers in the NFL if they do get Abdul Carter at number 3.
Yeah, you don't pass on a talent like Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter at all if you're picking at number 3. So, Phil, the Rams hold a 26th pick in the draft. So, QB or not QB?
Yeah, to not QB is the answer for me with Los Angeles.
Sources said Imaliava was looking for more NIL money. He is expected to enter the transfer portal when it opens next week. The Volunteers hold their annual spring game today, in fact, in a couple hours. Let's welcome in Tennessee alumnus Paul Feinbaum. Okay, Paul, the floor is yours. What's your initial reaction to Tennessee's decision to essentially let Nico go?
I think the fans that I talked to yesterday afternoon, Shay, agree with this. It is the right call, and it's the right call because they've already been held hostage to a degree by Nico and his people. They went to bat for him about a year ago. They fought the NCAA, who wanted to rule him ineligible because of the recruiting, and they stood by and they kept his eligibility. They gave him a chance, and by the way, he helped to reward them by helping Tennessee get to the playoffs last year. But the bigger story here is beyond Nico. This is an inflection point in the history of college football. This is the first time in this NIL era that we have had a literal holdout. Happens every day in the NFL. It's never happened in college football. He was expected to make about $2.5 million, and while people are seeing their 401s crash right now. He wanted more than that, reportedly as much as $4 million. And Tennessee finally said, you know what, we're done. What's interesting is he's not that great. I talked to various sources around the SEC yesterday, and I said, tell me where he ranks out of the 16 quarterbacks in the SEC. They said somewhere between 6 and 8. Tennessee saw the same thing, and that's why he is no longer on the Tennessee roster this morning.
Gotta love Paul Feinbaum, always keeping it real. But now you look at this story, and I am certain that the next place that he wants to go is going to look at it as well. What are Nico's best options when the portal does open next week?
Well, he grew up in California, so you have to look to that direction. One interesting part of this is he can't go anywhere within the SEC. There is a new clause in the spring portal. You can't go within the SEC. Now, you can do that in the portal that ends after the season. So I would have to, is going to be to deal with his representatives. And I say his representatives. His father's involved. He's got agents involved. This is a very nasty situation. It has left a stench across college football. So I would say buyer beware.
When you look at Tennessee, they already lost their star running back. They lost their top 3 wide receivers. And now there's a question mark at quarterback. They were among the favorites to win the SEC. Where do they go now?
This is a body blow to Tennessee, which was already on the so-called cut line. They have Jake Merlinger, who is serviceable. He played a couple of games last year, but they don't really have an option. They may go into the portal themselves. They just lost a quarterback to the portal. They may try to get him back. But ultimately, I think what this is going to do for Josh Heupel is buy him a little bit of time. The fact that they said no to Nico, I think will give him a lot of support. He's already gone to the playoffs. He beat Florida and Alabama last year. He's in very good shape. But if this season does not go well, I think Tennessee fans will look at that and go, okay, at least you did the right thing.
Yeah, give him a little bit more leeway. In 4 seasons under Josh Heupel, Tennessee.
Yo, what's going on, peoples? Welcome to the channel. I am your host, S. Dot. And if you have made it this far, you've made it to your Sports Minute, where we chop it up about the world of sports. Today's topic is going to be on Derek Carr and his injury. It looks like Derek Carr has been hit with the injury bug. As you guys know, he did play for New Orleans last year. He started out the season hot, and as the season went on, he started getting injured more and more. It looks like before this season even gets started, Derek Carr has injured his shoulder, and now they're stating that Shedeur might come in and take his starting position. I like the Shedeur New Orleans Saints edition. They need a strong young quarterback because I feel like the Saints are a strong young team. I think he would be a good fit for them for the reason that Shedeur has that bit of arrogance. You know what I mean? He has that bit of arrogance that some people can follow because that's kind of a strong personality. You know, being a leader, you do have to have a bit of arrogance to lead people because they have to trust you. And I think that this team would trust Shedeur to lead them to the promised land. I'm not sure. I'm not saying that they're going to go to the Super Bowl. Like, let's not get out of ourselves. Because, as a Philadelphia Eagle fan, we're going back to the Super Bowl this year, and we are going to win it again back to back. If you guys have any comments to say about that, go ahead and hit it up in the comments sections. Let me know what you think. You think this is a good fit for Shedeur? You think he is a good fit for, New Orleans? Or do you think he should go to the Steelers? Those are the two teams that are on the block right now of where, they feel like he's a good fit. But there is also another team right now. He's going to be going out to the Raiders and checking them out. But I don't like that. I don't like that fit for Shedeur. I don't think they would be a great organization for him because of the way the way they run their organization. The plays that they run. I don't think it fits his scheme. You know what I mean? I don't think it fits that quarterback that can throw and run. You know what I mean? But that's what it is out there. You know what I'm saying? Shedeur is looking like he's going to be a Saint because of Derek Carr's shoulder injury. But like I stated, tell me what you guys think in the comments, and we'll keep you posted, all right? Moving on. So it looks like the college world is starting to be flipped on its head with this whole money thing. As you do know, the NIL, which I think that's how you say it, they finally pay their players now because the colleges have been making so much money off of these players all these years, but haven't paid them. You know, they sell these jerseys, they sell these, you know, the brand, they sell all of these things, and these colleges make all this money on the backs of these players. So they finally started paying these players their money. But now we have, his name is Nico, and I don't know how you say his last name, but he was drafted to play for Tennessee. But now he is holding out because of money issues. Right now, they're paying this dude $2.4 million to play in college. That's not the NFL. That's college. And this guy said, no, I want more. I want at least $4-point-something million to play. But the school said, oh, hell no, we're not paying you anything. Now you can go to another squad, because right now we're going to look for another quarterback. Which I think is stupid on their part. For the simple fact, like I stated at the beginning of this, these colleges have been making so much money on the backs of these players. They've been making money hand over fist year after year after year. You think about it. Look at all the memorabilia that gets sold by these colleges, by these players. Think about it back in the day when these players were drafted. Yeah, they got their schooling paid for, but these schools sold their name and made billions. I mean billions. And did not give these players not one penny. Told these players not to take anything from people that saw their potential, that would give them gifts. Players being unable to eat, players being unable to buy clothes, players just looking ragged out here, man, because the schools were making money on their name hand over fist, which is wrong. Now you have a player that is negotiating the money side of it with the colleges because he's holding out for more money. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him for the simple fact that they got it. They got it times 10. They should have just signed and said, okay, here you go. Fine, no problem. They're going to make that off of the Tennessee name in one day. You can't pay this man double what y'all offered him. That was a low ball anyway, to pay him $2.4 million instead of giving him the whole $4 million. I mean, you got to think about this. Tennessee is a huge name in college sports. Period. Think about how much memorabilia you buy as a college alumni, or as a fan of the team, or because you actually go to the school. Think of how much memorabilia they sell on the backs of these players' names. It's probably astronomical, the amount of money that they've been bringing in over all these years. I think he should get that amount of money he's looking for, because they're lowballing him. But tell me what you guys think about it in the comments. You think Nico should hold out for more money like he's doing? Or do you think the colleges are right for cutting him from the team because he is wanting more money? You think they should come up off that bread because they do got it? I know they got it. I mean, look, I think there's more fans in college football than there is in the NFL. Like you have whole towns and cities buying memorabilia from these colleges and these jerseys with these players' names on it year after year after year after year, all year round. These colleges got it. I think they need to pay it. Because of all the years that they did not pay it, I think they need to come up off that bread. So Nico, keep doing your thing, bro. And now I'm going to let y'all know what's going to happen. They're going to lowball this man. All the other teams, they're not going to give him what he's looking for because they're going to try to blackball him. They're going to try to put a scar on his name. So because he is in the, he is putting himself in the college, I forgot what you call it, the drafting where he looks for another team. But I guarantee you that these colleges stick together, and they're gonna blackball his name, bro, and he's not gonna be able to get any team to play on now because they want to control that money. But how in the world can you tell me that I cannot ask for the amount of money that I deserve because you're gonna be selling my name? My name. You want me? You wanted me to play it on at your college. You drafted me. So you want me, obviously, bad enough to pay me already $2.4 million. But you're going to be selling my brand as the player, as Nico is probably saying. Why can't I get more money off my name? You feel me? Those are his talents. Tell me what y'all feel about, how y'all feel about this in the comments, bro. I mean, is he right or is he wrong for this? Is the colleges right or are they wrong for this? Let me know how y'all feel, all right? Well, as I stated, hit the comments up, let your voice be heard. I am your host, S. Dot, and we appreciate everybody who stops by and leaves a like, hits that subscribe button, or even just leave a comment. But we appreciate everything you guys have done, all the subscribers. We thank you. And we're gonna catch you guys in the next video. We do post videos every day. My name is S. Dot, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.